Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome to our today's lesson. Inshallah, today we are going to cover the following, which is Unit 5, Lesson 11, page 78. Let's go over the unit, which is 5, Express Yourself. As you see here, guys, we have form meaning function, which is 11. Inshallah, we are going to cover different topics in this lesson, which is future, going to, and will. And then we'll go over the will versus be going to, and then we'll go over future progressive, and of course we'll have other topics. As you see here, we have this part, which is actually our today's lesson. And of course, here is the beginning, okay? So future with will or be going to. Let us first talk a little bit about the function here, which is will and be going to. Of course, whenever we use will and be going to, we have to think that we are going to predict something, and we are talking about something in the future. So it's a matter of prediction, okay? And this is very important in future function or future structure. Of course, as you see here, we have the definition of this part, which is we use will or be going to make predictions about the future. When we say predictions, we mean that we want to do something that actually will happen in the future. So this is the meaning of predictions. Of course, we can use this tense, or we can use this structure through questions and answers, and of course we can use it through statements. Let's go over first over the questions. As you see here, we use the verb, which is will, and of course it's the most important verb in this tense, which is future. Of course, here we use it as a question. Of course, we begin with the verb, which is will, and then we have a verb, which is speak. So will people speak Arabic? As you see here, we have a verb, a main verb, and of course, it's in space form. Okay, so this is very important to know that when we use the future tense, which is will or going to, we have to make the verb in its space form. So this is very important. And of course, we have another question, which is, are we going to learn Chinese at school? As you see here, guys, we focused on going to, of course, it's preceded by be. When we say be, I would like to remind you with the group be, which is very important group of verbs in English. We have am, is, and are. So all these three verbs are very important. And of course, we use them with the future going to. So it's very important to know this. So as you see here, are we going to learn Chinese at school? And of course here we have the answers level, which is I guess so, I don't think so, I think so, I hope not. So this is the first part, which is future, will, and going to. If we move to this part, which is will versus be going to, we use will to make known the spot of request or decision, use be going to express a plan that is already made or decided. So here we'll go over other topics or other important parts in this tense, which is actually how to use the future will and be going to and offering and requesting and making decision, and of course planning. In this part, we can say that if you, for example, want to plan for something, for example, when you finish high school, you are planning to study such a thing. Someone's, for example, said, I will study aviation in the United States of America. Someone else said, for example, I'm going to study aviation in Australia, and so on. So here we use the future going to and be going to, of course, the future will and be going to plan for something, or sometimes we use it to request, okay? Sometimes you can say, will I, for example, have some of this coffee? Okay, so you are asking someone, okay? And here, of course, you use the future will, okay, and making a question. If we go over the example, or before this, let's go over the part of the definition here. Use be going to express a plan that is already made or decided. So Ali is going to have his work professionally translated, but I can't afford it. I'll translate it using machine translation software on the internet. So here we use the future going to, as you see here, going to have. Of course, it's preceded by the verb, which is be. And of course, then we have a main verb, which is have. So you have to focus on these parts, guys. And here we have the future progressive. As we have progressive in different tenses in English, of course, we have the same in future. And of course, here we'll focus on something very important. As you see here, this is the definition and the form and the way we can use this through different topics. We use the future progressive, will plus be plus present participle for continuous actions in the future, or use be going to plus be plus present participle. If you remember, or you still remember, guys, we discussed this in the previous semester. We discussed that we have progressive participle, continuous participle, okay? And of course, it's a verb that actually contains ing. So in this part, okay, this is the form of the future progressive, which is will, be, present participle. So we have to have will, okay, which is actually permanent. And of course, here we have be, one of the verbs. For example, we have am as are, and then we have present participle, okay? And of course, we can use this, okay, which is going to plus be and plus present participle. Of course, we can use this through different ways, which is affirmative and negative. If we go over the affirmative, free machine translation services on the internet are going to get better and better. By 2030, most people around the world will be translating foreign languages through machines. They will no longer be learning the lingua franca or franca, the common global language, to communicate in business and trade. So this is the will, okay, or the future will, which is progressive, will plus be, and then we have a verb in the ing form. And of course, here we have future going to, which is will. And of course, we have be plus the verb in the ing form. Of course, we can use this tense through different levels, which is questions and of course answers. If you go over this part, which is questions, of course, here we have, will you be working on the weekend? As you see here, this is the base, or this is the form that we discussed earlier, which is will plus be and a verb in the ing form. And of course, the answer is yes, I will, or no, I will not. Okay, as you see here, this actually is the abbreviation of will not. Okay, of course, this is actually non-verbally. We don't pronounce it as won't, we pronounce it as will not. And of course, here we have another example, which is, are they going to be taking? This is actually future going to. As you see here, we actually started with the verb are, which is be, and of course, then we have going to, and then be, and of course, finally, we have a verb in the ing form. This is actually the answers. We have here short answer with positive or affirmative, and of course here we have with negative, yes they are, no they are not. For now, guys, we'll go over some exercises, which is actually very important. We'll go over them together and do them together, because actually it focuses on the forms that we discussed, or that we have discussed in this lesson. As you see here, complete the predictions about the future with the correct form of the verb. More than one answer is possible. So here we can use both answers, which is actually correct. So I'd like you to focus on this part. The first sentence is, in the next couple of years, speech recognition applications translate, of course here we have this verb between brackets, foreign languages at business meetings in real time. Let's see together what is it, guys. Try to think about it before we start having the answers. Of course, here we have two answers, will translate and are going to translate. Of course, here it's in the base form. Number two, someday soon we, of course, use our smartphones to translate printed text by using the camera function. Of course, here we have will use and are going to use. I'd like you to think about the rest, guys. Let's see together. Cars on gasoline, they will run on electricity, not run. Let's see together. Of course, it will not run and aren't going to run. So this is actually the best answer or the correct answer. Very good, guys. Good job. Let's go over the fourth one, which is robots will not be able to make autonomous decisions. They will do and will not be able to do what they are programmed to do. Let's go over the fifth one, guys, and see if you have something to add here. In 50 years, time now one, use the lingua franca to communicate. We will all use machine translation software. Let's see what is it, guys, together. Excellent, very good. So we have done with the first part of our today's lesson, which is future going to and will, future will. For now, we'll go over the second part, which is conditional sentences with if clause, imaginary situations for the present. At the beginning, let's go over and let's define what is a clause. Okay, in English, of course, we have simple English sentence, which actually contain or which actually consist of subject, verb, object. This is actually very, very clear and very important, okay? And you all, or the majority of you, know this. For now, we'll discuss something else, which is a clause. A clause actually consists of a subject, verb, object, and of course it's actually linked with another sentence, which is actually comes alongside together. So if we go over this part, which is conditional sentences with if clauses, we'll focus on the if clause, and of course we have another clause which is actually consists of another tense. Okay, we'll go over this together, guys. We use conditional sentences to talk about imaginary or hypothetical situations in the present. We use the simple past and the if clause. So I'd like you to focus on this part. So here we have two clauses. One is the if clause and the other one is the main clause, which is the conditional sentences. Of course, at the first part or at the first clause, we'll talk about imaginary or hypothetical situations. Sometimes we use this tense or we use this actually form or structure to show the imaginary situations, okay, or hypothetical situations. So we have to use this, which is actually if clause in this part, and of course will be in present, while the other clause will be in the past tense. Let's go over this sentence, and actually it's a very important example. If I didn't know foreign languages, I wouldn't travel around Europe alone this summer. Of course, if we think about the if clause, of course here we have didn't, okay, which is in the past simple. While if we go here, we have wouldn't travel, which is in the simple present. But I do know foreign languages, so I'm going to travel around Europe alone. Of course, here we move to the second part of the important things here. Of course, here we have wish if only for unreal situations. So here we'll go over something very important, which is how to use the wish, okay, verb, which is actually wishing, okay. If we go over the definition here, use wish for things you want to happen, but probably will not. We can also use if only in place of wish to add emphasize. So we use the verb wish, okay, if we actually imagine something that gonna happen, but at the real time, it will not happen. So this is the way we use wish. Of course, we can have if clause, and of course we have a main clause. As you see here, I don't know many foreign languages. So actually this is present, okay? And of course here, I wish if only I knew more foreign languages. In the future, my parents will not let me go on vacation with my friends. I wish if only my parents would let me go. Here we have a note which is very important. Was is usually used in informal spoken English with I wish I was on vacation. So this is very important. Whenever you want to mention something in the past, and of course you started your sentence or your statement by the pronoun I, of course you will not use the verb in the past, which is was, okay, because this is unspoken and of course informal. But the correct way to use the verb, which is actually as in here, I wish I was on vacation. So this is actually informal spoken English. Of course, here we have an exercise which is very important. We'll go over this exercise together, guys. Work with a partner, read the sentences below, and end with your own ideas. So here is your job, guys, is to end up this sentence or these sentences with your own ideas. Let's go over the first one. If I could choose any destination, let's see, what is it? I would go to the Red Sea in Egypt. That's very good, guys. Good job. What about number 2? If I had some extra money, I would buy a new laptop. This is very good. Good job, guys. What about number 3? My friend asked me to go surfing. I wish I could surf. That's very good. Number 4. He will not lend me his textbook. I wish he would lend me his textbook. Very excellent. What about number 5? If we had more time, I would feel less anxious. That's very good. Good job, guys. If I could be anyone in the world, I would be an astronaut. Okay, this is very good. Actually, here we have words connected with different kinds of vacations. Of course, we have vacations and we go through vacations. And of course, here we have some of the most important words that actually used in vacations. So here we have a variety and of course, different types of words that actually connected with vacations. So vacations means holidays. Some for example, it's a period actually that we for example, spend within for example, a period of time which is actually a job or education. So if we go over this, of course, we have adjectives, nouns, and verbs. Let's go over them one by one. Of course, here we have the word amazing, spectacular, magnificent, wonderful, ancient, peaceful, relaxing, inexpensive, popular. Of course, I'd like you guys to go over them and try to find the meaning of each one of them in your dictionaries, which is very important. Of course, here we have exciting, thrilling, luxurious, exotic, awesome. And of course, here we have the nouns list, which is marine life, rainforest, plants, animals, city, archaeological site, buildings, tombs, rocks, adventure, wildlife, coral reef, desert oasis, museums, art galleries, and of course here we have verbs: visit, see, learn, explore, dive, experience, trek, travel, and hike. So this is actually a very important list. You have to know them all. And of course, it's actually divided into adjectives, nouns, and verbs. So try to think about them and know the meanings of them. As you see here, we have an exercise which is actually related to the topics and the recent topics that we have discussed. Let's go over it together. Match the headings A to D to each text 1-4. Complete the gaps with a vocabulary word from the chart above. Of course, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, of course, charts. And as you see here, we'll link them with the sentences or statements here. Let's see it together, guys. So scuba diving in the Red Sea, Saudi Arabia, okay, is actually related to 2. Trekking in Oman, actually related to 4. And of course, ecotourism in the Malaysian rainforest, related to 3. And of course, desert tour in Jordan, related to 1. So if we read part of them, visit the spectacular ancient city of Petra. Okay, you are going to explore this magnificent archaeological site and see the wonderful buildings and tombs carved out in the rock. Dive in the peaceful coral reef of the Red Sea. You are going to see some of the most awesome and colorful marine life. Come face to face with sea turtles, lionfish, manta rays, and dolphins. So this is actually the rest of this exercise. You can pause the video and read it and think about it. Okay, guys, that's all for today. Thank you very much.